Hola, 'tis I, Alycia. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Today, I want to take a little bit of a deep dive into Priscilla Presley. We're going to go back into the past. I found some newspaper articles, kind of take us in a little different direction, I think. So, join me for a tarot reading into Priscilla Presley. In January 1978, Good Housekeeping did some type of interview with Vernon Presley. And I took out a quote from that, and it said, "The papers have played up the fact that neither Priscilla nor Ginger was mentioned in Elvis's will. In answer to that, I want to point out that Ginger had already gotten her share of gifts from Elvis. As for Priscilla, she didn't expect to be mentioned because Elvis had made his settlement with her when they were divorced." Now, that's out of Vernon's mouth too. Good Housekeeping magazine, January 1978. Now, let's look into some of the articles I found. February 3rd, 1978, Priscilla Presley seeks $357,000. Attorney for Priscilla Ann Presley, Elvis's former wife, had filed a claim in probate court for about $357,000 in other payments from the late singer's estate as a part of a $1.5 million settlement provided in her 1973 divorce agreement. 73 is a divorce agreement. This is 5 years later. The claim had listed $357,000 as a balance from $720,000 due Mrs. Presley under a property settlement where Presley was to pay her installments of $6,000 per month until August 1st, 1982. He was supposed to be paying her this monthly payment. He passed before she got all of her payments, so then she is going after the estate to get the rest of the money. So she's trying to get money for Lisa Marie. She's trying to get premiums on a life insurance policy for Lisa Marie. Proceeds from sale of one half of the furnishings in the Los Angeles home, a transfer to Ms. Presley of 5% of the total outstanding stock issued or to be issued for Elvis Presley Music Incorporated, and Whitehaven Music Incorporated. I don't know what Whitehaven is. Vernon Presley signed a promissory note dated April 29th, 1977, in which Presley promised to pay Priscilla $494,024.49 in 36 monthly payments. The note was secured by the second deed of trust on the Graceland mansion on Elvis Presley Boulevard. April 29th, 1977. So 4 months after Elvis passes, Vernon's saying he's going to pay, I guess, some more money. Okay, let's go now to March 10th, 1978. The Presley will. The divorced wife of Elvis Presley has named formal guardian of their 10-year-old daughter, will thus have control over proceeds from the estate the singer left to the child. Presley died in Memphis last year, and his will, which did not mention Priscilla, is being probated there. Then we have 4/11/1978. Mrs. Presley wins divorce claim. She won her $750,000 divorce claim against the estate of Elvis Presley. Details were kept secret. She had asked for half the money from the LA house, 5% of the stock in Elvis Presley Music and the Whitehaven Music, and $4,000 monthly support for an education for Lisa Marie. Vernon Presley, executor of his son's estate, contested the claim, saying that Elvis had met his legal obligations regarding his wife and had provided through life insurance proceeds and under his last will and testament most adequately for his minor child. Let's go to 4/12/1978. Priscilla Presley claim approved. She's won the $750,000 divorce claim against the estate of Elvis. However, details of the agreement were kept secret. They said the agreement was sealed out of respect for the parties. He declined to elaborate, but it's not uncommon for divorce settlements to be kept secret by the courts. She had asked for half the money received from the sale of the furnishings of the couple's LA home. Okay, same thing we've read before. An exception to Mrs. Presley's claim, filed by Vernon, executor of his son's estate, said that prior to his death, Elvis A. Presley is believed to have complied with the provisions of the interlocutory judgment of dissolution of marriage, and that he has provided through life insurance proceeds and under his last will and testament most adequately provided for his minor child. So again, Vernon keeps emphasizing She got paid for this. She got taken care of. That's the implication I'm getting from it. If you're getting something else, tell me. We had 3/26/1979. Okay, so this is March 1979. Elvis's estate, 7.6 million. Elvis Presley's daughter, father, and grandmother will get the bulk of the late singer's estate, 7.6 million, after taxes. Valued at 10.1 million upon his passing in 77, the estate grew to 15 million the following year, with record royalties and other income. According to probate documents filed last week, expenditures including taxes left 7.6 million on July 31st, 1978. So there's 7.6 million left after taxes and everything else, and then the record sales helped and all this whatever. But there's 7.6 million left. Presley assigned the bulk of his estate to his 10-year-old daughter Lisa Marie, his grandmother Minnie Mae Presley, and his father Vernon Presley. The singer's former wife Priscilla was not a beneficiary, but she has received a total of $192,000 in alimony and child support for payments, and also got $12,000 from an insurance policy because they were divorced in 73. June 30th. 1979, Vernon Presley favored fiancée in will. Graceland may be sold. The will of the late Vernon Presley, father of Elvis Presley, leaves the bulk of his estate to his fiancée. It passes on partial responsibility of overseeing his son's estate to Elvis's former wife, Priscilla Presley. This will places no restrictions on the future sale of Graceland, the Presley estate, which the city of Memphis has been negotiating to buy for use as an Elvis Presley museum. Inventory of Vernon's estate, which would show his net worth, was expected to be filed within the next few months. Vernon Presley's will designates Miss Sandra Miller, his beloved fiancée and contemplated wife, as an executrix of his estate. According to the will, Mrs. Miller is to receive all of Vernon's personal possessions except the furniture and furnishings in his home. The furniture will be left in the hands of Priscilla. So, somehow Priscilla's getting in here. No one ever mentions how this is happening, but okay. After his brother and sister are paid, the balance of Vernon Presley's estate goes in equal shares to Lisa Marie Presley, Elvis and Priscilla's 11-year-old daughter, Mrs. Miller, Minnie Mae Presley, Vernon's mother, and Delta Mae Biggs, Vernon's sister. Then we have again, Vernon Presley leaves bulk of the estate to fiancé. Somehow Priscilla gets in here at some point. I don't know how Priscilla gets in here at any point. And then it makes me wonder, too, all of these things where, oh, Priscilla took the estate and, she made it worth something. There was just an article we read here that the estate had money once Elvis passed, and then they started getting the record sales. As always happens whenever an artist dies, all the record sales inflate. They're more valuable sometimes when they're on the other side than when they're here. Seen that happen before. So now I'm totally curious, what the heck's going on here? Shady business. Let's get our screen up. First, I want to see, did Elvis specifically exclude Priscilla Presley from his will? If so, why? And I have to tell you, it's tarot card reading for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Yes, specifically. It's written in the document because he knows, allegedly for entertainment purposes, she's going to do some shady shit. We have 7 of Swords. Just waiting to, everything's in suspension. I think he had some idea of what could happen after he passed. Maybe he had some idea that he could have passed. He had this idea, I've worked out my will that specifically she gets some money, but I'm leaving her out of it. Specifically, this is for my child. Okay. Because he has some idea Priscilla could be looking to make some shady moves. They're divorcing. There you go. What did Elvis want to happen to his estate after he passed? Okay, there is this idea that he knows and he wants his legacy, his estate, his image, his brand, his music, all of it to continue on after he passes. He had not gotten to the point where he had figured out exactly who would be in charge of that. There's this idea that he did want to make sure that he got it out of any type of hands that were not for the benefit of his family. It's I've worked this hard, and yeah, we're going to make money with this. We're turning this, it's a continuing show after I pass. I've put in all this work and I want to continue this control, but I want the control to be within my family, not over here with outside forces. This could have been the colonel. This could have been record companies. It could have been whoever else he had deals with, corporations, conglomerates, whatever. He knew he was needing to put someone in charge, but he was not sure where he was going to do this. He didn't know how to do this. He didn't know who to pick. So he obviously hadn't considered Priscilla. He was trying to figure out who was going to be the right person to do this. Just didn't get to it. Okay. This is a whole idea of like, I'm giving you this gift and I'm doing it intentionally that I want my legacy to continue on. Okay. What did he want to happen to his home? Did he want it to become like something everybody walked through a museum? Or did he want it to stay private? The way this comes through is that as a last resort, if the family got to struggling and they had to turn the house into a sideshow, then do it. That's how it comes through. It's like almost if we get into like you're struggling to keep your head above water, finances dried out, whatever's happened, if in that case, then of course, this is your asset. Now, this could also mean that this could be sell the house. The house is an asset. It's a last resort asset. Like this is not the primary thing that he was thinking about keeping the legacy, the money going. But again, it's this idea. This is the last option. If you have to get yourself out of trouble, leverage the house, the property. And see if there are other options first before you do this. Like this is last resort kind of idea here. If you have to work with somebody, figure out what are your options, and only if you're like in dire need. So I don't know that he verbalized that to anybody. He probably had no idea he was going to pass away so soon. However, there's this idea that it should have been only last resort. What did Vernon think of Priscilla? He thought she was shady. He knew she was a devil in disguise. She's the devil in disguise. Oh, yes, she is. The devil in disguise. Okay, so she's coming on all sweet. She wants to be there. I want to support you. Oh, I love you. At the time when she's around, he's looking at her as she's looking for money. So I want to give her money to get her to walk away. He doesn't want to deal with her anymore. However, she's always looking here about how can she legally get some more. She wants more money here. He wants her to go. Adios, vamonos, get out of our lives. He was working or hoping to work out a plan to eventually get her to kick rocks and be gone. But however, things started popping up and she always seemed to finagle her way in. Probably because of Lisa Marie. So Vernon has her pegged as La Diabla. Alrighty. So then, how does Priscilla get in on looking over Elvis's estate? Vernon's dying. He's named his fiance to inherit all of his stuff. But somehow, Priscilla shows up right in the nick of time. So, how does Priscilla, upon Vernon's passing, get in charge of the estate? There's an agreement made. A decision had to be made. So I don't know if Vernon's being told, tick tock, old man, you're going to not be here too much longer. And this is the idea that you are going to go forth and take care of my son's legacy. There's worries about what's going to happen to it. Vernon hadn't set anything up in place to formally continue on, I guess, marketing the brand. He did not necessarily want to give it to her, but he didn't have any other options. It seems like there's just not. He was worried that this is not going to end up good. She might take on some partnerships that are going to sully Elvis's reputation. He was hoping that this was going to be the best, the wisest choice that he could make. He knew that she's in it for the money. But his primary obstacle here is he had no idea. He had nowhere, nothing, no opportunities, no people, branding companies, marketing companies, whatever those types of companies are. He didn't have anybody else to take charge, to take the reins. And she happens to show up, and she's the only choice. Wow. All right. She happens to be there at the right time. Did Elvis want Priscilla to continue using the last name Presley? Legally, she can for PR and money-making things. Legally, she can. She's riding on the coattails of that name, right? So legally, she can. She's doing it for PR. I think he probably would have strongly discouraged her. Maybe he didn't have that conversation yet, as they were not done settling finances. However, he did not want her continuing with that name, because it's like she's going to hook up with other men, and in the future, maybe she'll get married, whatever. No, I don't want my name associated over there. That chapter's done, right? I don't want that. I want her to stop using that name, because I'm looking at the future. I'm going to be with Ginger, or maybe whoever maybe Ginger was going to be it. Who knows? But that's his plan at the time when he passes. He was looking into the future. No, he doesn't want her using this name, but it was kind of a thing like, well, she's not married and legally she can, but I'm hoping to get her to stop, see that this is not her name anymore. So he didn't want her using that name. He knew exactly what she's going to do with it. Curious, what did he think about her when they divorced? Because it seems like Vernon had her number. Seems like he knew her number when it came to the last name. What was Elvis thinking about Priscilla when they got divorced? There's that idea again. His main concern is the kid, Lisa Marie. His overriding concern, though, is that Priscilla is just going to take the name and monetize it and go out and strike out on her own. Yep, that she's just going to use the name for the future. He was hoping to get into a good spot with her, but he did want to just get this divorce done, and he wanted to get out of here. There's this idea like he's hoping that, I know she just wants money now. And I know that she just wants to go out there and start her new story, whatever she wants to tell the world. However, I know that she's going to use this name to do that, to monetize it, to make plans for the future. And I hope she doesn't sully the name. She's not my wife anymore, and she don't need to be doing that with my name. But the biggest thing is I want a divorce from her. I'm done, because I want to get out of this entanglement with her. I'm concerned about my child. That's the biggest thing. And I'm just wanting this to be peaceful. Peaceful. Had problems trying to strike a balance with her in the past. All right. That, maybe the Elvis Priscilla wedding, marriage, divorce would be a reading on its own. You let me know. If you have ideas on questions about that, let me know. All right. Why didn't Priscilla marry Marco Garibaldi? They lived together for over 20 years. She could have married him. She could have been Priscilla Garibaldi. I think that's where that Navarone kid came from, that now Priscilla was like, right after Lisa Marie passed, she's like pimping him all over, in my opinion. Weird that he just pops up all of a sudden. He didn't have a relationship with Lisa Marie, so why is he showing up now? Who cares? So why didn't Priscilla ever marry Marco Garibaldi? Because she don't want to have to give him any money should they divorce in the future. She don't want him having any access to her little Presley empire. No, no, no. Should there be heartbreak in the future, just can't make it work. So she was thinking ahead. She's like, 10, 15, 20, 21 years down the road, we can't make it work anymore. I'm smart enough to know I'm not going to let him have any type of access to the wealth that I have attached to my name of Presley via divorce and in charge of the estate. She's not going to have that. Nope. Because she thinks at some point she would have been having to give that up. So no marriage, you're not getting access to that. Yeah. Dinero. All right, so let's do a check-in now. Now, the rumors are Riley has denied access of Priscilla to Graceland. I haven't seen anything else since then. This is recorded March 21st, 2023. So, where does it stand between Riley and Grandma? We'll do Riley and Priscilla. Priscilla's looking to make a deal with Riley. Come on down. Oh, let's see. How can we work together? Priscilla's overhanging here. I don't know if she's like realizing there might be some things not going in her favor. She's got this, she's looking to see if she has any leverage. So don't think that she's just over here not doing whatever she's doing. She's trying to figure out how can we continue to move forward. It's you and me together, kid. And she's looking to see, she wants to keep herself as her independent money-making self. But there's a concern here that the tides are going to turn and Grandma's going to be continued to be locked out of Graceland. What do we have on Riley's side? She's just, she's thinking about the kids, the offspring, Lisa Marie's children. So her and her sisters. She's concerned about the deal with La Diabla over here. There's a lot of things happening in the background. News is going on. There's some interesting things probably happening with legal stuff, court stuff, documents, legal shufflings of papers and things, official things. Like, this is not necessarily through the court system. This would be like a level down. This feels like this is lawyers, arbitration, agreements that are going on back and forth. All right, listen here, you old lady, you can have this, but not all this, things like that. It feels like we're maybe doing that kind of stuff. And there's the Knight of Swords here, just trying to fight for what's right, what was intended with this agreement my mother put forth, but did not file to notify you. So we're trying to work together to figure out a situation to move forward. There you have it. So thank you so much for watching. Join me in the Moon Moth Manor. If you haven't yet, you get early access to readings like this, and you get access to videos I don't share here. Find it at AlyciaWicker.com, and I will see you next time. Adios.